The door bursts open, and Alex stumbles through before doubling over and grasping for air. I made it, collapses. Yeah, that's basically how things are right now. No kidding, I've been so busy. Turns out work takes a lot of time. Who knew, right? And consequently, I've had very minimal time to actually do stuff I want to do. Add to that the college group and youth group stuff, plus my emailing life and family stuff, and you guess what? You have a recipe for a crazy hectic life. Though I might add, if I wasn't spending at least 2 hours a day emailing, that might help. Anyway, I finally got around to writing this because an undercover Matrix agent dressed as a hippie, yes, I know that's confusing, said I was taking too long and needed to hurry up. So, here I am, ready to bring you the next life update of Alex and Co. What happened last? Looks back through life update email. Oh wow, that was a while back. Well, here's what has transpired since then. First, I work a lot. Basically, it started off nice and slow, manageable 4-hour days, just me bagging a lot, pulling carts in the parking lot, doing loose ends, jobs and stuff. Then after a week, they were like, all right, we broke them in, and started dishing me out 8-hour days. And let me tell you, the difference is significant. It's like going from a sprinter to a long-distance runner. But yeah, I got used to it, and it's not that bad anymore. I've been trying to know all my coworkers, and it's not horribly hard, but most people don't really care to talk to the new kids, so it's not super easy either. Also, I've been labeled as major weird because I asked them all deep questions like, what do you want your legacy to be? Or, what is the thing in your life you couldn't live without? And it's actually been great. I've gotten to hear what people believe in stuff. And while I have not preached the gospel per se, I've definitely preached the topic of eternity and whatnot. People have some weird beliefs. Most of them just don't care, which is really sad. Anyway, I've made some semi-friends because, unlike most people, I actually care about their lives. So yeah, that's been good. And if you could just pray God would open their hearts up to him, that would be great. Oh, and other than that, I started checking, which was super stressful at first. They were basically like, here's how you scan something, here's your login number, don't mess up. And they just had me start checking. Yeah, I'm basically questioning their teaching methods. So I started like a week ago, and I basically learned everything now. Though, granted, some people may have defected from my learning curve. Or hurt from my learning curve. Yeah, anyway, I love it. And I've had a captive audience. So yeah, instead of just asking my coworkers deep questions, I get to ask customers. Seriously, so great. What's surprising is how few people are Christians, though. Like, even when I asked, what's the most significant lesson you've learned in your life? I've only gotten 10 people that answered anything related to God. But I do get the question returned on me quite a bit, and so I get to talk about my faith in some respect. Though sometimes it's really awkward because, you say, my greatest lesson was learning to trust God, and you can totally see some people just turn off. But yeah, it's great. I'm considering it my form of evangelism. And man, it's a miracle I've been able to keep it up this long, because it turns out talking to people for 8 hours a day is exhausting. So yeah, pray for me that I have the strength to keep doing that. But what has been helpful is cart duty. Basically, I just move carts around for an hour, and that gives me some fresh air and time to recover. And think, you would be surprised that the amount of philosophical thinking that can occur while pushing in carts. However, it was snowing during one of my more recent cart duties, and that was less fun. Anyway, basically, that's what's happening on the work side of things. As of late, they've been letting me travel, or letting me have weekends off, which is why I have the time to write this. So I hope that keeps up. The church side of things, I got closer to people at college group. After I last left Life Updated you guys, I went to college service, which is basically where all the college group meets, and they do corporate stuff. I did this weird Bethel thing called a treasure hunt, which is basically where you ask God to point out people you should talk to and then try and find those people. It was a pretty cool idea. And I was open. I was like, yeah, I don't know if all this charismatic stuff is legit, but I'm going to try it. And they were cool, and let me just tag along. The picture the other guys got, I didn't get anything, was a red and yellow umbrella, which, I mean, if you want to think of something improbable, pick a yellow and red umbrella on a perfectly clear night. But we went with it and went down to Old Town looking for people, just, praying and talking. Unfortunately, no, we did not see a yellow and red umbrella, but we did see a guy who was wearing a yellow and red shirt. So one of the girls with us knew him, and he said that he felt like he needed a spiritual umbrella for his family. So they went away satisfied. Me, not so much. I felt like that was stretching it a bit, but I don't know. Who knows? After that, I had another college group meetup, and I got to talk to some of the guys there for a while, and that was really good. Then after another college group service, this one much more normal, more like a regular church service, the guy talking said something in particular caught my attention. He said, Jesus doesn't give a rip if you sin today. That was like major red flags for me. Granted, he wasn't intending to talk about, using grace given to us to sin, but that sounded like that. So yeah, wasn't super receptive to that. But after that, we got together as a college group and made a plan for how we're going to impact the city. And right now what we're thinking is we're having a potluck-style dinner at City Park and just invite random people to come eat and play sports, which sounds like a pretty good plan. I may get to thrash some people in real football. Right, coach? So yeah, after that, everyone went out for pizza, and I just went home. Then last week's life update was the best so far. I met this guy, Neo, and it turns out he loves to debate. He's actually debated a Mormon girl for like 6 months. And talk about a long debate. Right, that's a while. He actually converted her, and then he married her. Good to know debate, is actually good for something. So naturally, we started debating, and him being Arminian, free will came up, and, it was really good. I think I won. But he was really open-minded, and honestly, it was probably one of the best debates I've ever had. But, and this is the lame part, the life group leader came up to us and said that we weren't allowed to debate at life group, which, granted, he did it really nicely, but that's what he meant. And although at first I was like, hold up, he did make a good point that there were different times for different things. So for instance, you wouldn't worship while your pastor was talking, nor would you debate while you were worshiping. So yeah, I conceded, mostly because I was forced to, and agreed not to debate during life group. But, hoping me and you would get together some, other time to finish that debate, because like I said, it was really good. So yeah, it happened, and we went out for ice cream at Macca's, and we just talked, and Sydney, grins at the other Sydney he knows, what are the odds of that, right? Was the girl who used to be Mormon was there. So yeah, we got to hear some of the Mormons' really weird beliefs. For instance, they believe that before God was God, he was actually a man that achieved the status of God. Face palms. I thought some of my logic was bad. Anyway, it was a fairly good time. Finally, the last college service I went to was one about relationships. A shiver runs down his spine. It's like having a conversation about feelings, but in the worst form. Anyway, it was actually really, really good. By far the best relationship talk I've heard so far. And while I would share it here, I have some younger people reading this, so if you want to hear what I learned, flick me an email. Oh, I almost forgot. Before college service, I went to Qdoba and talked with a guy named Carlson for an hour. Literally had to run home from work to make it on time. And then, lo and behold, he was late. So if that's not vexing, I don't know what is. But yeah, it was good. He shared we shared stories of our lives, and he had a pretty cool testimony. Anyway, after college service, I went to that hyperactive girl, remember the one that would introduce me to life group, house to play board games with a bunch of other people. And I got there, and holy cow, it was death. There was so much emotion going on around me. People were laughing incessantly for absolutely no reason, just being absolutely random. No one talked about anything of depth. It was just like 100% small talk. Worst, I didn't even know people, and everyone was so chaotic we couldn't even play a game for more than 5 minutes. Rubs his face. Yeah, I've been traumatized. Seriously, if you want me to feel uncomfortable, put me in a room full of feelers I don't know and who can't focus. Shivers. Yeah, I'm probably going to avoid that next time. Anyway, that was what's been happening on church. Oh wait, I did go to youth group with my friends the Myers, and that was good. Almost forgot about that. By the way, there's this youth group that's like 10% Christian, mostly all about having fun and stuff. But they preach a good message, and, the people there aren't, like, bad, if you know what I mean. I still think it's good for me to go. It may not be, to help myself, but to help others. At least it helps me stay in touch with the Myers. Anyway, the best part of that youth group is that they had an apologetics lady come, and I was like, and I laid some of my questions before, and she was like, blinks twice. Well, not exactly. I asked her how to solve the inductive problem of evil, and she was like, you asked me a really hard question, and we don't have time for that right now. By the way, if anyone can solve the inductive problem of evil, please tell me. So I'm hoping she has an answer, but I'm dubious. Anyway, that was good. Now for general life. In life in general, things have been super busy. My grandpa and my cousin Bo stopped in for a bit. You guys remember Bo, right? We had this big discussion about Myers-Briggs, which I think I actually lost. Turns out Bo is really smart. I think he's an INTP. But that was good, except for the losing part. What else? Went out to Winter Park to see a certain someone from New Zealand. You know who you are. And that was good. We didn't get to talk as much as I hoped we would. But yeah, it was still a good time. I read this book my friend sent me, and I think I died internally. It was really dry, and the reason in theology was quite questionable. I didn't read the appendix at the end, and I know that the person's like, you need to finish reading it. And I'm like, no, I don't. So yeah, we're having a debate. But I'm right. Anyway, I have 2 pictures. So yay, there's pictures. Okay, now guess which one my mom took and which one I took. Yeah, you can't do that because you can't see the pictures. Anyway, it was snowy, and it was cool. The other thing that happened, it was hard, is while we were up there, the Myers' grandpa died. We went to the funeral yesterday, and yeah, they're feeling it. So if you could pray for them, that would be great. Other than that, we saw the Wades again, and ate some pretty good food with them. That was cool. Oh, and we went downtown Fort Collins and played a bunch of pinball for free at an arcade place there. It's crazy how many people leave the pinball mid-game. Like, crazy. But yeah, it was fun. And we found these people evangelizing, which we didn't know that originally. But hey, we listened to them, and we got a prize, which turned out to be a cookie. So we stayed. Anyway, we used the whole, they used the whole, are you a good person method. And at the end, they asked if, we had any theological differences. And, yeah, they were Calvinists. So I attacked limited atonement, the weakest point in 5-point classical Calvinism. But even though I definitely didn't lose, I consider the debate a loss because I didn't really have any good reason to debate. Like, I just debated for fun and didn't do it out of love. So, yeah, I think I kind of messed up there. And yeah, now we're at the present. Oh, one more thing. I had another debate. You're probably like, sheesh, Alex, take it easy on the debates with my dad and my grandpa, in which a certain ENTJ joined in. And that lasted for like 2 hours. So I was doing so well until a certain ENTJ, glares at you, raised a very good point. you know, it wasn't bad. I mean, I hate being wrong, but the point was good, so whatever. Basically, I need to redesign my thinking, and I'm not really looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, unnamed ENTJ. So yeah, if you could just pray for that, I'm going to need some help. And okay, that's the life update. Sorry it took so long, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.